What's up? What's up? You here on the boys today? What episode is this now?
I don't even.
What 155 or something?
It should be like 115,
115.
116. I didn't even put it on there because I need to get a board and write it down.
Write it down. Figure out which boys it is.
There's so much of it going on, brother. But it's the great thing. It's all fun and games, brother.
That's right.
It's all fun and games. We're enjoying it. I actually look forward to this, like doing this, even like today, especially.
Yeah,
I look forward to it. I'm like, you know what? I went to work, go to the gym, do your thing. But after that, you know what? Nah. Let's run this. I hit you up last minute too.
Yeah. Let's do it.
This wasn't it was a podcast that has been in the works for 6 months, maybe to a year or so.
Okay.
Right? And he finally kicked in like $50 for the Cash App. So I said, all right.
All right. Yeah. So Gil makes it official. He does pay for interviews.
No, they pay me.
Oh, they paying you. That's right.
When you run the YouTube Yarda,
they pay you.
Oh,
rale.
Yeah, so today on The Boys, I'm actually very honored and humble to have this man here today. I don't even have to look at my notes. This man is really a modern day saint, man.
Wait, here's another 100. Keep going.
He really is, man. He's everything. Like when it comes to being hard that I am not, I guess let's say, right? Sometimes I can seem like a mean guy, but he is what Gil would be if Gil was a sweetheart, a great guy, a great father who has raised and will. And when I was writing this at first, I said, who has raised? No, who will continue to raise, because when you have a kid with autism and special needs, it's not like you raise them, you will raise them for the rest of your life. And with that, man, I want to give a warm welcome to Paul Avila. What's up, player?
Thank you. What's up, man? We made it
Welcome to the boys.
He had to reword that because he's like, well, it wasn't planned. I mean, it's been in a year. You know.
I had this written down, and then I said, you know what? No.
Right,
I was
Come
barely
on,
writing it down. Like, no, man, this is something that's been it's been in the works
cultivating.
Exactly, bro.
We've been waiting for the new location.
And I've always told people it's all about timing, dude. And you're a guy who's out there just, doing some great things, Paul. And first, let's start with that. You're known for Pauly's project.
Yes.
Right? And now, when people say Pauly, they always think your name is Pauly.
Yeah.
Right? Because your son.
Yeah, exactly.
But what's your name?
Paul.
Okay, there you go, people.
He's actually Paul Jr., but we call him Pauly.
So he's Junior, in other words. So you're Paul, he's Pauly.
Yes.
Get that
straight.
Take
straight,
your notes.
homie.
Yeah,
Get
exactly.
that straight, homie.
That's why it's Pauly's project. It's not Paul's project. It's Pauly's
project.
Inspired by my son.
Inspired by your son. Now, give us a history of who you actually are. Where were you born and raised at, Paul?
Yeah, so I was SGV boy.
Shout out to the
Exactly.
Back in the 818 days.
Yeah. Right. What's up?
We still 818.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So I was on that side. Never say exact city, I got to keep a little low pro on that.
Yeah.
But man, Pauly has some stalkers. He has some girls out there. What city is he living? I just want to come. I want to hug him and kiss him. And
No way.
I'm like, what about his dad? You got to go through me to get through him. No, just kidding. But Pauly has some little crazy admirers out there. So we'll just say we live in the SGV.
That's right.
But grew up youngest of 5. I was always like they called me the sponge, just a quiet little one, observing everything.
Were you the youngest?
I was the youngest.
Okay, so you were.
Exactly. So when I was born, unfortunately, my parents split. So it was pretty much I was under my mom's wing, but I had older sister, older brother, 3 older sisters and a brother. Like I said, I'm the youngest of 5. So growing up, I go back and forth with mom and dad. But my dad was kind of he was kind of more drill sergeant as far as in the 80s he made a lot of money in real estate, so he's kind of power trip, and his thing was women and money. So unfortunately he left when I was born, but my mom would send me with him on the weekends, and we'd have fun, but it was more like boot camp. Like, you can't play until you rake 3 trash bags of leaves.
But was that horrible, you think?
Later in life it was good. Like, it built some
it was teaching you some
responsibility.
But it was when he had a cabin in Lake Arrowhead, so we couldn't have fun. Like, it's like, you see that water? You ain't touching it until you rake, So it was kind of a power trip. I'm like, dude, this is like the reverse psychology.
Yeah, but that I gotta push back for the dads. I gotta push back for the dads. That also could be a parent thing, though, Paul. Like, if you're trying to teach your kids something. Was he in the service, or was he just a?
No, he was just
an a-hole.
A drill sergeant. It was just a drill sergeant.
I'm all for it. I'm not. Yeah. I applaud that dads, you got to crack the whip, but he was just extreme. Okay. He had 200 employees, so everything was delegating. So, he could be, a power trip could be, my mom was easy with me. It was like, what do you want on your hamburger, Paul?
That's usually how moms are.
Ketchup, just ketchup. Okay, no problem. So I go with my dad on a Sunday in the mountains because
That's what it was.
What do you want on your hamburger, Paul? Just ketchup. Okay, no problem. The guy he wants onions, relish, pickles, tomatoes. So they all did that. But the jerk about it is like, he literally, we'd be there an hour and I'd be crying. So we got nothing but time. We ain't leaving till you finish.
Oh,
it.
yeah.
One of those things. So it was a lot of stuff like that.
That was mean.
Yeah, that was like my foster mom.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, it was brutal. It was brutal. So it was a lot of things like that where I built like resentment towards them and
to the
stuff.
extreme.
Mm-hmm. And and then during high school, you start messing around. I think I got kicked out. The old graffiti went through the whole scene. I graduated in '95, so hanging around a bunch of
Oh, so were you a tagger?
Real quick,
Yeah,
right?
you just kind
I
of.
was trying to put a band-aid
No,
around it.
No, wait a minute. You got kicked out of high school or school?
Yeah,
You said tagging?
yeah, the old.
So you were tag banging or just tagging? or
but you were tagging, right?
Yeah.
Were you any good?
I thought I was at least.
Can you at least say your name, or are they looking for you on the FBI?
Yeah.
Most wanted.
Rather not, but no, we had a lot of fun.
Hey, his name was Pauly.
Exactly. That would be a good one. Yeah.
Right.
So okay,
Exactly.
so you were tagging. How long were you doing that for?
Probably since like 8th grade to senior year.
Did you start with the marker and you stay with the marker, or do you end up going at least eventually with can? Let's keep it
Oh
real.
yeah. No, all the above.
What?
Mean streaks, scribers, cans.
Were you running up to the RTDs?
Yeah, it was kind of like it wasn't that crazy active. Like in SGV, I mean, it was pretty. People were into it. You had your little crews. It was like, we don't like that high school. They're enemies.
Yeah, that's how it starts.
Yeah. And then they'd run up on us. One night we had like this other crew that we were kind of enemies or whatever, and I was just totally like hitting in their neighborhood. Me and my friend pulled up. Of course, he doesn't tell me he's the watch guy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I hope. I'll say one of their names. He'll never watch it. Kane and all these guys. God, imagine if they pulled up 2:00 in the morning right now. So I'm like, shh. Who rolls up? Kane and all those guys. Did you just? And I just crossed out the whole thing. And
You caught red-handed?
Oh, dude, it was
Damn.
bad. Literally red-handed.
Yeah,
That's what you said. That was a red Krylon can, and my slashes in red, hands dripping wet. And God was on my side that day because they could have just easily jumped out, just kicked my ass. Like they knew I did it.
Yeah.
Did you just do that? You crossed us out?
like,
It wasn't me. Like fresh, And I don't know what they must have had to, it's like when the cops pull you over, but they get another call, they're like, we'll catch you on the rebound. And my friend Ricky jumps out of the bush. He's like, dude, what just happened? Like, how'd you get off the hook? Like, you should have got your ass kicked by all 4 of them. I'm like,
All by yourself.
yeah. And he was like a
yourself,
kid
right?
legend. When you mentioned Kate, he was like the bully. Like, he's the biggest.
In that area?
He was a big white dude, and everybody, you just mentioned his name.
They respected his
abominable snowman or whatever.
How old were you when that happened?
Well, he was in his 20s. That's why.
shit.
I was 16, so I'm
you're a
just like,
kid.
Yeah.
Well, that way you know he's at least a cool cat, because he was a dick. He would have been like, he's a real bully. I'm going to sock you up real quick.
Exactly. So, you always had a lot of fun times like that.
Did that help you start going away from the graffiti thing, or what helped you say, it's a phase. It's like Nintendo, you're a kid, it's a bike. So it was a phase
then
for
you
you.
get kicked out of school, and then got arrested a couple times for it. Then I'm like, all right, this is getting a little ridiculous.
Wait.
I'd like to skim over it.
No,
You
you
guys
can't.
know. This guy.
You're on the American Cholo podcast. Here's what we tell. We're all cholos to one point or another. Whether you're a redneck in Alabama, whether you're some from Boston, whether you're somebody from New York, Boricua, we're all cholos to a point. We've all had a history of
doing that.
doing, being a little bit of bad boys.
Yes,
Exactly.
Right,
yes,
being a little bad boys. So you're not gonna just skate over.
I tried. I tried.
Okay, so keep going. You're not a tagger anymore. What are you getting arrested for?
So what made you get out of it? You just kind of phased your way out of it?
Yeah, I think high school was over, and then I'm like, all right, I don't want to be a Kane, 23. Oh God, I hope he doesn't see this one day.
Hey, he just took shots at Kane right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm 20. Wait,
There you go.
I'm 47. Mofo, meet me in the back. I'm not scared anymore.
I could have sworn I saw Kane hit up over here by shooting away, bro.
Exactly. Yeah, what's bad? It says Kane 23, like 2023, he's still right.
He's still doing it, bro.
Right?
He's still doing it for the love of it. For the love of it.
Exactly. So, I think it was when I got kicked out my junior year, and then the principal says, and of course it was like, is this your name? That's not me. Goes to the backpack, through the, you remember you handed me the black book? I'm like, oh, man. So the name's all over it. He's like, you're out of here. So I'm like, dude, it's my senior year. So, he said, yeah, you get your grades up, you come back, I'll go there for 6 months as high school, come back, and I'll, if you're improving, you know,
So that was
I'll let you back
continuation
into
school. They put you.
Yeah.
Oh,
to
well, the
graduate.
cool kids went.
Yeah. Actually, it wasn't a continuation school. Actually, it was
Yeah.
just another high school in the next city.
A smaller, regular high school.
It was actually more hood than this one. So I was like,
yeah.
But
that's usually how
the
it
good
works.
thing is, like, I didn't really know anybody in the beginning. I mean, I knew some, but the grades went up. Yeah, I was just keeping it to myself. I'm like, I don't want any trouble. But the first day I got there, it got a little wild because it was blacks against Mexicans riot.
Little riot back
I'm
then.
like, yeah, and that's when it was like real active, real hot. That was '94.
Oh, yeah, that's major.
And yeah, so as soon as I stepped foot, out, you know, I didn't know anybody. 12 o'clock when the bell rings, we're swinging. Like, just get ready. I'm like, dude, I came here to get away from trouble, you know? So
There's a riot in the quad, home.
yeah, it was in the quiet. Yeah, see your quiet's going down. If he's black, swing on him, or we're gonna swing on you. I'm like, dude, really? What did I get myself?
I just walked into this school.
Yeah, seriously, day
shit.
one.
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn it. So, anyways, you know, those things don't last long. The security police, everybody was
course.
there. It was like one swing and it was already over. So I was like, thank God I didn't have to, you know, get involved in that.
You had to shank nobody.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So, so it was. I did my thing. I did better. Then he let me go back to my class. So I just wanted to graduate with my class. At the end of the day,
Okay.
you know, I spent all those years with them. So I
you
stayed away
graduated
for
high
6
school?
months. I did.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Brother. Believe it or not. Hey, no,
That's
seriously.
Right, yeah, that's a hard thing to do. I never
Yeah.
did.
In our era,
Shoot.
there was a lot of people who didn't
I
graduate.
just squeaked by too. It came down to like final test. Like I was on the
yeah.
bubble,
Brother, no,
but
that's-
nobody knows that part.
Yeah,
I
but you got
graduated.
that. You
Yeah,
got
but
that
you
diploma.
got that, brother.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we have to strive to get that
Exactly.
stuff. That's the cool shit to do.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yep.
you're enjoying high school. What a lot of kids happen, they end up not going to high school, getting kicked out, and
And that's it.
Yeah.
and that's it, brother. And
Yeah, now I have a lot of friends that were on the bubble, same like me. They just fizzled out and didn't make it. And like, I'm never gonna go back. And it is what it is.
Yeah.
But
So after high school, did you graduate?
I did.
Did you go? Did you go? Let me see. 90. What year did you graduate?
95.
95. Did you go like Miami Vice style? Did
Dang.
you go?
Oh,
In
damn.
the 90s, not the
I
80s.
don't know how you were feeling, fool. I don't know how you were
Disrespect.
feeling.
Wow.
Or did you go like Al Capone with a nice suit and a hat? How'd you go?
No, it was
What's the problem?
It was supposed to be the con art and the baggy jeans. And, no,
Yeah, yeah.
I went. What was it back then?
You wearing your Cortez underneath?
Nah,
Yeah.
I didn't go too gang. I made it to the senior party. That was like you were cool because you graduated.
Yeah.
And half of my friends couldn't go, and I was on the bus. I was like, yeah, I get to go on the senior. You know, I thought I was cool, but
You go to grad
it was
night?
weak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
weak. It was
Yeah.
weak.
It was like Disneyland. Oh no, I think it was grad night. Yeah,
Yeah.
they call it senior night. But yeah. So
You didn't make it to prom?
I was too cool for school. Like
you didn't
I
wanna
wanted
go-
to go.
Ah,
I went to
damn.
one dance. All 4 years I went to one. I regret
Do
it.
you ever? My next one. Do you ever regret not going to prom?
I do. Yeah.
Right?
Back then I was like, I'm not gonna go. Like girls would ask, you know, thought you're all cool. Nope. And then you graduate later, and I was like, what
Damn.
a loser. I should have went to all of them. Like, yeah.
Yes,
know.
right? Yeah,
So that's why my
Yeah.
nephews, they're like, I don't want to go. I'm like, dude, that's
Dude,
one of my
go.
biggest regrets. Go.
Listen, kids, listen
Yeah.
from us
Go
old
to prom.
guys, dude. Listen
Yeah.
from us. Yeah, dude, that's a time in your life
Yeah.
where you're young. You know, you can still jump up and down without your.
Yeah.
Did
knees
you go to
hurt.
prom?
Yeah.
Hell no, I was in jail for the last grade I actually graduated was 6th grade. After that, I just kept getting kicked out. After ninth grade, I went to 10th grade for maybe like a month and a half. They kicked me
Yeah.
out of the whole LA school district, and I was partying. I was home free.
There it is, there it
My
is.
mom was like, they think they messed up with you. I would be at home like at 11 o'clock ironing. I'm still gonna go to the school.
Exactly. Exactly.
You went to
Same
Sidewalk
thing.
High. You went to Sidewalk High School.
Wow.
That's the same high school I went to.
I
good
love
one.
the. Hey,
Hey, I was on the
we-
sidewalk of all the high
We need
schools.
to make a sign for Sidewalk High. Graduated
Sidewalk
from
High.
Sidewalk
I like
High.
that one.
That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Good one, right?
Yeah, he's been working on that one.
Yeah, he's
Hell
working.
yeah.
Yeah, so you're,
Shit,
so you're
since
sitting-
'95.
You're sitting here next.
Exactly.
You're sitting here next to two losers right
Yeah.
now. So,
Wow.
Hey, he's a graduate. He's a smart
Yeah,
guy.
yeah,
He's all
whatever.
Exactly.
That's
I didn't
it.
hear it back then too.
Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
cool. Hey, but it's sad, right? You do
Yeah.
hear that when you're a kid back
Oh
then.
yeah, all my friends. Oh, I think you're all cool. Oh, graduate. You know.
Yeah.
You know.
I wish I would have graduated.
Hey,
Yeah.
but
think
Sure.
you're all smart. You know.
Hey, that's-
College. I'm like.
Yeah.
that's how fucked up
Our-
our
our-
mentality is
yes,
as young,
yes,
and
yes.
still to this day.
Yeah, because we were the cool kids that went to fucking juvenile hall.
Yeah, but all the nerds are the bosses now.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real.
No.
Everything
Yeah.
reverses. Yeah. Everything reverses. The
Yeah.
ugly chicks are hot, and
Yeah.
the good ones. Are,
Dude, yes. Yes.
they're like smart
No,
CEOs.
that's because of surgery. Bro. That's
yeah, that's true.
that's got nothing to do
Maybe
with
the BBL, but
Only 20 grand. That ain't nothing.
Right?
Exactly.
All right, so you're out of high school.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
So actually, I started working with my brother. We have a family jewelry business, so he kind of kept me under his wing because that was keeping me out of trouble because my friends were just going, you know how it is, dude. And you start going out and it's parties and this and that. And I was starting to like drink a little more. You're 18, 19. So I could tell I'm kind of going like this. And my dad wasn't around. So my brother would kind of pull me back. Dude, just work, come in. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to. But he knew what he was doing. He was trying to mentor me. Like, dude,
How old is your brother?
He's quite a bit older than me. I don't know my siblings' ages. I know when they graduated, which is weird. So I graduated in 95. He graduated in 83. So that's a big gap.
Oh, yeah, that is a big gap.
Yeah.
You were the mistake.
I was a mistake.
Yeah. You were the mistake.
Wow.
You're like, fuck.
Hey, when were you born?
76.
What month?
November.
November.
This Sunday is my birthday.
Oh, so that means he was.
Oh, damn.
Scorpio.
Happy birthday.
November 5th.
So if
Happy
you
birthday.
go back 9 months, is he like a 4th of July? Oh, Cinco de Mayo.
Oh.
They throw a Cinco de Mayo party.
Cinco de Mayo.
That's what
happened.
That was a tequila.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Viva la raza.
Exactly.
What the fuck you mean you're pregnant?
Yeah.
Exactly. I was the accident child. But it's all good.
shit.
It's all good.
No, that's boo. That's boo.
Okay.
All right, so your brother's trying to get you a gig. So what are you doing?
So yeah, I'm working with them. But so yeah, I had a couple years under my belt, but I was still on the bubble. Like you still want to go out, drink, party, doing all that stuff. And now let's see, so that was graduated at 18. So now I'm 20, and let's see, baby's mama comes to me with a little message saying that we're gonna have a little one on the way.
That's before she was baby mama.
Oh yeah, she was future baby mama. Yeah. So we kind of dated like, it was more the high school stuff, and then after.
Now, were you guys actually dating when you got her pregnant, or was it kind of on and off? Like you
Yeah.
were, or you were?
It was like an on and off.
It seemed like that was then it was Pauly. Pauly was dating a couple chicks.
Yeah.
And so you get a phone call.
Yeah.
You're 20 years old.
Uh-huh.
And where you at? You at home or
I was at a jewelry show in like San Francisco or somewhere with my brother.
work wise?
Yeah. And she called me at night, and then she's like, I gotta talk. Just the voice.
Are you in the
alone.
hotel?
Yeah, I'm in the hotel.
There were no
ringing
cell
up.
phones back then.
Yeah, and just her voice. I was like,
Oh.
no.
Don't tell me.
And then my brother looked at me, and I was like white as a ghost. He's like, he already knew off the bat, like,
Yeah.
you got that call. And I was just like, dude, Monica's pregnant. And he's like, what? Like, so he was kind of freaking out.
How you taking it?
I was just like in disbelief. I mean, you're just in shock. You're young. I'm like,
You're 20,
thinking
right?
of your future. I'm like, I'm disappointing people. And like, did I want to, you think of just everything.
I'm not ready for a kid
Yeah.
right now.
Oh, totally. Yeah. My mind's just racing. I'm like, oh my God.
You didn't think like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It wasn't like a
It
planned
wasn't like
thing.
that?
We were together, a long time. It was quick.
Okay, so now you get home after the trip. You're home. It starts sinking in. What is the conversation that you're having with her? Are you thinking at this point, I'm not ready to be a father? Are you having that conversation at all yet?
All the above. Like our emotions were so high and low. We're scared. We have to go through your parents. Have to tell my parents.
Who'd you guys tell first?
We told my mom.
Talk to me. You're walking into the house.
Yeah, I was at my brother's office, and I said, dude, I got to tell mom. And he's like, well, let's call her, tell her you have a meeting at bro's office. So, yeah, she came in and just dropped the bomb. And, it goes from, like, initial tears of, I can't explain it. Just emotions are high. Just
Yes.
why and how and,
Well, I can tell you how.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm baby number 5. She doesn't know
yeah, right.
Exactly. Wrong word. But why, I guess, should be the word.
Right,
But,
of course.
Yeah, no, she,
She's shocked.
like most moms, it's the initial, just, I don't know. Like I said, just a lot of emotions. And then I went from crying, then hugging, like, we're going to be there for you. Let's do this.
Nice.
So my mom, we knew would be the easy one. Her mom, on the other hand, we're like, ooh, she's a pistol. Like, she's one that you can't touch baby girl. It was like one of those things. I was
And
like,
you touch baby girl.
oh, yeah. And then so yeah. So we had the plan. And we're totally nervous. I was like, dude, your mom's going to kill me. So she's like, well, we're going to we have to do it soon. And let's pick a night. We'll both be here. We'll call her out. We had a game plan. So what happens? She calls me screaming and crying, and her mom's cussing in the background. I'm like, don't even tell me. She's like, I couldn't keep it in. I told her. She said, her mom's like, get the hell over here, Paul. In the background, I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, this is not how it's supposed to go down. I'm like, what are you thinking? She's like,
It just came out.
Yeah, and I'm like, wow, this is not the drive I want to do. So I'm just like shaking, driving to her house. I'm just like, just knowing you're going to take the heat. I'm like,
right.
so anyways, took the heat and walked in and just got called every name in the book, and she just had to let it out of her system.
Yeah,
It was
of
10
course,
years
of course.
Emotions.
Why my daughter? She's 18. She has her whole future ahead. Why would you? Irresponsible. So I'm like, whew, okay. And then
I got
I
that
went to
coming.
crying, and then I went to hugging, and I love you, and so it was
I'm here
just
for you.
the
Nice.
process. So it was tough though, but
So now you're good with both families, right? As far as they know the baby's coming. How far along until you and your soon-to-be baby mama find out from the doctors that there might be a problem, or did you find out?
yeah, that was the hard part. We just went to all the meetings. Everything was normal. No signs of anything. And, Pauly was born. And I think it was maybe like 3 or 4 months. And, we're doing and you look at him, you look at his first baby pictures, you can't see anything. He's smiling. He's happy. He looks like he's looking at the camera. No signs of nothing. And she did all the tests. Like, we thought he was a complete healthy baby. And I think it was like 3 or 4 months, and he went to the pediatrician, and he did like the little light exam, like, they do the little,
Yes.
I don't know, for him to trace it. And he just gave us this weird look, and he's like, wow, like, you need to go to Children's Hospital. And we're like, why? What happened? And he's like, something's not right with his eyes. So we were just like, okay, well, we'll go tomorrow. Like, we didn't even know the urgency of it. He's like, no, you need to go now. I'm like, damn, like, that doesn't sound good. So, I went to Children's Hospital. And they're just so like black and white. I think we were there like 5 minutes, and the ophthalmologist did the test, and then, oh yeah, he's blind. We're like, what?
Whoa.
Again, you're so young as parents. We're just going through that emotions, and he just like threw it out there so quick.
Wow.
And he's like, oh yeah, his retinal dysplasia. There's nothing there. Completely blind. So we were just like, wow. So she started crying. I just had my head down. I'm just like, it's already a hard situation. Adding this on top of it. And like I said, I think Pauly was like 3 or 4 months. So, then we told both moms, they were key players in this thing, and then they're bawling, and it was a lot, that whole timing,
So at 3 or 4 months, right now you're just finding out my son can't see.
Correct.
And this guy is just being, even though he's probably just sees it all the time, to him,
Yeah.
they see kids, sometimes they think they look like machines, right?
Yeah.
They're just coming in. Did you know anything else was wrong with them, or you just find out he's blind?
Yeah, just he was blind. So, it took me a while to, process it. So I'm like, blind. Okay, I'm thinking like Stevie Wonder. He's the only blind guy I know. Like, okay, well, Pauly's still going to be able to function. And
What's
do
the
whatever he has
conversation
to
in
do.
the family right now?
It's people are just real emotional. Like, wow,
course.
this is a lot. It's like, as a young father, I'm like, man, this is a tough situation. But one day Pauly's gonna be driving. He's gonna get married. He's gonna play sports.
You already
all
have
that
all
ahead
that
of
thoughts for
time.
your son.
Yeah, I have this game plan. So when you hear that, I just remember it was like the doctor just punching me in the stomach. I'm just like, damn, it was overwhelming. And knowing I have to be the strong one for her because she's having a meltdown. And so yeah, it was just tough. And then the family's just there to support us and love us, but they feel bad. I mean, it's a blow. And Pauly was like the 3rd grandchild out of, now there's probably like 20. So, it was fresh, and everybody's just like, oh my God, just devastated. I mean,
Absolutely.
but I come from a loving family. So I said, in the long run, everybody's going to be here to support me. We're not in this by ourselves.
Right.
So yeah, so now that was, again, 3 or 4 years old, or 3 or 4 months, sorry. And now me and mom move in together. It's getting a little more serious. I find myself getting a little more depressed. So I'm drinking a little bit more. We're starting to bump heads a little bit. And then now he's like 3 or 4 years old. And I'm like, man, something else seems like it's off. Like, even though he can't see, he should be trying to talk or trying to walk.
Yes.
4 years old, that's getting kind of big. So I'm like relating everything to Stevie Wonder. Man, Stevie Wonder could do everything. Pauly,
Right.
So we went to the pediatrician again. And he's like, something's not right. Go to the neurologist at Children's Hospital. Like, damn it, every time we come here, it's just bad news, So they ran some tests, and he came in with his head down. The doctor said, yeah, I think your son has autism. I'm like, oh, wow. So he's like, this is going to be an extremely difficult case because most kids are blind or autistic. So if your son can't see, most likely he's not going to be able to talk if he's autistic. So, so that was just another blow. It's again like somebody punching me in the stomach. So yeah, mom's crying. I'm just with my head down. Like, anything else?
How old are you this time?
Now I'm probably like 24.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hey, so you're 24, and you just got all this thrown in your lap. You and your girl and your family, for that matter. You go home. What's going on up here?
Yeah. No, I definitely started drinking more. I was trying to be strong for her, but I know emotionally she was upset. And I had a talk with the doctor. I kind of never shared this before, but I'm going to say this now. I'm going to say it. So we had a talk with the doctor, and, mom's whole thing was like, how did it happen? And I get it. You're the mother, you birthed the child. You want to know what went wrong, because all the testing was normal. Where did, and so she left the room. Again, she's an emotional mess. She's bawling. Like, it's so heavy for us at the time. And so it's just me and the doctor. I'm like, Doc, do you know? He's like, well, of course, it came from her, the mother's chromosome, whatever. I'm like, oh my God. Well, whatever you do, don't say that. It doesn't really matter at this point. God gave him to us this way. Right. It is what it is. Just don't, if you drop the bomb on her like that, it's going to crush her. And this is going to affect us forever. So what happens? She comes in and she says, please, we need to know why. I'm so sorry, sweetie. It was from the X chromosome. I look at him like, mother. And she's just like devastated. And she was just, this is my fault. I'm like, dude, looked at him like, bro, didn't we just have this talk man to man? Like,
he just dropped it.
Oh, yeah. He's, he's probably thinking, I'm the doctor. I can't lie. I just have to tell her, So, of course, the guilt and all that. So I think it really started affecting our relationship. I started drinking heavy and bumping heads a lot. And, we're always going through drama anyways, and this just really compiled it, and being young again, we were so young,
you guys were kids.
So I started drinking heavy, and I'm gonna talk what leads into this one particular night, and I always call it the end all night because it was bad. So we go to this wedding. I get super hammered. I don't know if you've drinking Jaeger.
Black licorice.
In our family, it's like tequila. You're either fighting or crying. One of the
There you go.
So we drank a whole bottle of it. And again, I think I was just everything was compiling just between me and her and our issues and Pauly. And I'm just like, I was just overwhelmed at the time. So I get completely hammered. So we go home and we're fighting big, like bad. And it's probably like 1 a.m. We came from this, family wedding. I'm drunk as could be. Pauly's in his little, car seat. We bring him in, and I just snapped. So I said some choice words, and so now the neighbor, we were living in an apartment, the neighbor comes, and you always have a hero. So it was this youngster. Hey, what's going on in there? I'm like, bro, it's not the time, man. Like, I'm handling this. Just stay at your place. And he was new. It was this big tall white guy, and I could tell he was nervous. And I look back at it now, like, yeah, you're hearing some dude like going off. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever it was. So then he comes back and he's like, hey, everything okay? And I don't know if our door was cracked or whatever. I'm like, bro, I'm not going to, and at that point, you don't want a man jumping in, like saying, let me, I'm just like, just go back to your room, let me handle it. So anyways, comes back a third time. Stupid Paul, drunk out of his mind, goes to my bed. I had a gun and brought it out. And it was more of a threat. I knew I was drunk, but not drunk enough where I'm going to use it. That wasn't my intent. I think it took the clip out anyways, but I had it right here. I'm like, dude, and then he's like, he freaked out. The look on his face is, oh, bro, calm down, So I'm like, then I'm kind of snapping out of it, like, oh, shoot, that was stupid. So I could hear him calling down, my neighbor has a gun. He pointed at me. I'm like, I never even pointed it. But, again, he's exaggerating to the 10th power. And then I'm like, oh, great. And so she looks at me like, good job, So I'm like, oh, man, I got to make a move. So, again, I think I went in the room. I broke some slamming stuff, and I'm like, F it. At that point, I didn't care. So I grabbed my keys in my truck, and I'm like, I'm not going to have them converge on my place with Pauly here. So I get in my truck, and high-speed pursuit, it was on. So as I pulling out, it was like Moses party in the sea. There was they hear gun. And you just had 10 cars. I just see all the lights. It's 2 a.m. They probably had nothing to do. So yeah, I'm going down the middle. They're all coming into our apartment complex, and people are outside. I'm like, this is bad. And I'm like, this is the way I'm going to go out, guns blazing. At that point, I just didn't care, just with my whole life and drunk. And, now I know I have a gun thing. I'm evading police. I'm looking in my rearview mirror and just all these cop cars after me. And I'm like, this is it, So I was going through red lights. It was kind of like a little suicide mission. I'm like, this is it. I'm done. I'm tapping out. So, so I lead them all the way to, I'll just say Azusa Canyons, and I didn't know when you're that drunk. Once you reach the canyon, they pull back because they're not going to have cars coming down and jeopardize a high-speed pursuit. I mean, I can't even drive that thing sober, let alone drunk at night in the pitch black. So I'm swerving, and it was madness. And I look in my mirror, and I'm like, yeah, I won. I got him. Like, they I lost them or whatever, not knowing that they're just sitting down there waiting, like,
To come back.
idiot.
He's
Yeah,
gonna
let
come
him-
back.
Or the other
yeah,
end.
yeah. So, anyways, I go up there, and they have those little like turnouts where you can park,
And scenery stuff.
Exactly. So as God would have it, I was just punching it. I just remember like just bumping my truck, just like, this is it. And I remember my truck, I don't know what I hit, something in the front tire. Anyways, my truck started flipping. So I think it flipped like 6 times, they said. But it landed right. I mean, when you're riding the side of a cannon, it's like the clip,
Yeah.
like,
Right.
so.
Right in the rail, huh?
Yeah, I was literally. So the way it happened was, I mean, you couldn't have even timed it or planned it like this, but right when my truck started flipping to go over, it landed right in that little turnout. So my truck, like I said, I think it took like 6 flips and it landed right there. And I just remember it being eerie. I knew I was upside down. I remember there's glass. I remember there's blood, but it was silence in a canyon when you're by yourself. And I was just like, am I dead? I was like pinching myself, like, this is creepy. Like, does anybody know I'm here? I'm drunk, but I'm sobering up. I'm like, I'm in trouble now. I'm alive. Like, now what? So then I hear cars coming, and I'm just like, oh shoot. So, anyways, yeah, it was basically the cops, and I just remember them hearing the boots, and they look under.
The boots and the radio.
Yeah, and basically I hearing them like, dude, there's no way this guy would have made it. Like my truck was all mangled upside down, smashed in half, and. But in my head, I'm like, no, I'm alive. I'm here. I'm just like all twisted. And I think, you alive in there? I'm like, yeah, I'm here. And they're, you made it. And so anyways, they pulled me out. It was all awkward. And I was so gone that right when I get up, I'm like, shoot, nothing's broken. I'm okay. I tried to take a run for it. Like an idiot. I got a hold. And this was not too long after the Rodney King. So I'm gonna say I got Rodney King. So I think I got like 2 feet, and they're just like boom.
Yeah.
And they're like pitch black. Nobody's around. Sit down, boy. What? Oh, dude.
Yeah. You had that coming.
Yeah,
You
no,
had
I
that
deserved
coming.
it. After I was like, yeah,
You had that beat down coming.
got to pass because I deserved that. I would have did the same thing.
How old are you at this time, Paul?
So yeah, I was like, again, I think 24 or something, 25.
So Pauly's 2 or 3 years old, or
Yeah, he was something like that. Yeah, he was probably like 4 or 5.
Now, do you think while you were driving up there and doing all that, are you thinking of all the just all the struggle that you're going through as a young guy?
Yeah, it was more like selfish. I wasn't thinking of anybody else but myself. I'm like, I'm done. I'm gonna end this. Like, I'm sick of when you're drunk, your mind just goes everywhere, and you're just like, it'll be a quick ending. And going through those red lights, and I knew what I was doing. I mean, there was cars flying by, getting out of the way.
You
Surprised I didn't kill somebody.
You were on a death wish.
I was.
You were on a death wish
yeah,
at that point.
Yeah.
So after you apparently got arrested,
Yeah.
what ended up happening in court?
Oh yeah, they had all sorts of stuff. It was like evading police, trust. I mean, everything.
Assault with a
gun charge,
firearm,
assault.
everything,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, it was bad. I don't know
Swerving,
how
red
long they were
lights.
gonna lock me up.
Yeah.
I was just seeing all the notes. I'm just the attorney's like, dude, you're done. So but I remember too being in the hospital, waking up, and my family being around me. Just to backtrack a minute, and I just remember that's what changed my life. It's just my mom looking at me. What the hell are you doing? If you want to live for yourself, live for Pauly. And that was just like, dude, what am I doing? I was like, she just hit me over the head with those words. So when I went to court, I'm just like, God, please give me another chance. So somehow my attorney knew the judge, and they were tight. So they went back, and he's like, dude, today might be our lucky day. Because I don't think we knew what judge we were going to get. So they went back in chambers and like did a little like,
Deal.
They made a deal, and he says, dude, you're going to have community service and fines and classes and everything up the gazoo. I don't care. I got to be out here for Pauly. So it was funny. I did so much community service that it was at Benelli Park. Everybody thought I was employed there because they're like, you've done the most hours. I even had my own cart and everything. I had my vest with my name on it, Avila, and they're like, I'm doing this for free. But they're like, most people come in, you get 30, 50 hours. They're like, yours is like 900 and something. Like,
You
it
serious?
was crazy. So I like lived there for a while, so it was cool. Except when you'd have friends there, and they're like, is that you in the orange vest, Avila? I'm like, oh, God. In the bathrooms, like, clean. So I don't even like going there anymore. But I used to know all the hiding,
Bad
the hiding
memories.
spots. Yeah, like
Yeah.
the trees. I put my cart behind it, behind the bushes, take a little power nap. And the guys told me where to go. But so anyways, that was done. And that was like my wake up call. Like, I lived for a reason. Most people don't know the backstory, so they don't know how much I've been through, and they put the Pauly's project on a pedestal. I'm like, dude, this is the easy part.
Right.
You have no idea. Like, I've shared more tonight than I ever have about that whole. See, you're leading. You're good. You're leading me into this stuff, and it's all like resurfacing. But it has to get out there. I think. I'm tired of not saying it.
I saw somebody in the comment section. They were like, what does this got to do with Pauly's project? And in my head, I'm also thinking, it's the foundation.
It leads up to it.
Yeah, this is the foundation. If there is no struggle, if there is no pain, you don't know what you're really investing into, and this is what it is.
So when people see Pauly's project, like, how do you go out there and help those people? I'm like, those broken people were me. I was there, so nobody could tell me like, you can't relate with them. You don't know. What are you doing? Where do you have all this compassion and patience? I was like, bro, you have no idea what I've been through. I've been through hell and back.
I was on a death wish. So.
Yeah.
And a lot, unfortunately, people just can't handle what you've been through. It's tough. I mean, you have fathers who take off on their kids when they're
normal.
Sanos, they're normal, they're this. You think they're not going to take off on a kid who has special needs? And you really have to be in there?
No, my friends even come to this day and they're like, dude, no offense, but I'm not with baby's mama and I have to deal with this and change poop diapers. I'm out. And I'm like, you're right. Most dads would, but I'm not most dads because my dad wasn't there when I was born. And Pauly's, I'll be damned if he's going to have the same hole in his heart that I did growing up.
And that's why I say you're a modern day saint, Paul. Man, you're doing what a lot of people just can't do. And like I said, when I was first writing, I was saying he raised like, no, it's for life.
Yeah,
it's for life.
I was thinking about that the other day because my friends, oh man, my kid, he's going to college, and then we get me and wifey time. I'm like, I mean, I'm still what I consider a single father. His mom's married, and we co-parent, and he goes back and forth. He's with mom tonight, and we have a great relationship now, and that took years. That's a whole nother story. But I think to myself, like, this is it. Like, I'm never going to, as long as I'm mentally and physically capable of doing this, I will never put him in a home. Because you always hear those stories.
Yes.
And that's what people that are still all there and at least could talk and see. Imagine how vulnerable he is. He can't see and talk. Who knows what would happen to him?
So do you have a plan after you and his mom passes away and he's still kicking?
Yeah, I mean, luckily, we have a lot of family involved and stuff. But I always think, like, God forbid something happens to me, at least he has his mom, I think it would be hard if we were just in one home and then something happened. I feel like, we're each other's backup. But it's still, like, I couldn't imagine if something happened to him or me. We're just so tight, and, like, it's such an intimate thing. Like, when people come, they see the touch, the smell. I mean, imagine you can't see and talk. Everything. I get him roses every, Friday. We have music time. He loves oldie. Like, I know him. Like, it's like, I guess, I don't want to say a typical normal kid, but you come home, dad's tired. Go play games. Go watch a movie, whatever. I don't get that privilege. It's me and Pauly's time. He wants me. He holds me. Okay, Pauly, let's go for a walk. I mean, we're so routine.
How old of a I guess group is he in right now?
So he's gonna be 27 in April. So he's in after 22. They go through adult program. So what he's in is like for life.
No, but mentally, what kind of
mindset
is he in?
I don't even know how you put an age on it. 3 or 4. It's a baby.
So it's pretty much like you have a 3 or 4 year old for the rest of your life.
I gotta bathe him, feed him, change his diapers. He wet the bed. I mean, so people look at me, they're like, man, you always look tired. I was like, dude, on Saturday, he put diarrhea all over the bed. So I have 3 layers. I take them, I throw it away because I just bought a mattress protector.
Yes.
And then sometimes he gets aggressive because he doesn't like to be soiled. So he starts hitting himself. So I got to deal with that. I shower him, and then I shave him and cut his nail. I mean, everything you do for yourself, you got to do for somebody, for another person. And it's hard. And I just think, like, this was my calling. God knew I was going to be patient.
So let's rewind it a little bit. You just did your program at your community service, the park, and all that. So after that, how were you a changed man? How long did it take you to start, like, just being fully grasped? Like, did it take a while to sit there and actually say, you know what, that's it, this is my son, this is what I got to do?
Yeah, it took a while. Like, it's still, I got a little trouble after that. Nothing like major, but it I started going on a straighter path, and I got married, unfortunately, with another lady. We got divorced, and I had her 2 kids, and that was like an 8 or 9 year span. But it was a difficult divorce, and so now I'm single. I'm by myself. I'm now in my late 30s. I'm like, all right, I got to start doing something. So my uncle, now it kind of leads to a little different story that's going to lead into Pauly's project. But he was hardcore, gangbanger from East LA, and he'd be in and out of prison all the time. So when I was young, my mom would take me to Skid Row. And she said, oh, we have to give the Alfonso, cigarette cartons. And he just got out. He just got released. So he always kept us like arm's distance. Like he's like, don't house me. I'm fine. Just let me do my thing. If I'm going to be in Skid Row, I know there's free food. And he knew how to work the system.
Yeah.
So then he'd get in trouble. He'd get locked up for 3 years, come back to Skid Row. It was just this cycle, you know. But I think I was like 5, 6, 7 years old. My mom would take me down there, go to San Pedro and 6th. And we, you know, open the window and I give my stuff or give my uncle his stuff, hygiene stuff or whatever. And I just remember looking around. It was like the Twilight Zone. It was scary as a little kid.
For sure.
Yeah. That was like maybe mid 80s. And it was wild, but little did I know it was planting a huge seed in my heart, you know. So after all this craziness I went through, now I'm older and I'm like, all right, God, what am I going to do? I'm going to go back to Skid Row and I'm going to start, you know, serving food. So I'd go to like the Union Rescue Mission, Midnight Mission, Fred Jordan Mission, and just go by myself. I didn't tell anybody. I'm just like, I'm going to go 6 a.m. They have the, you know, start preparing breakfast. And I loved it. I was just like, wow, this is cool. And I was walking to my car one day and so backtracking with Pauly, like music was our lifesaver with him, you know. Figure you can't see, can't talk. We put the headphones. He would just rock out. We call him a little Stevie Wonder. So we're like, all right, like music's our niche. It's gonna soothe and calm Pauly. So this one day I served in Skid Row. I'm walking to my truck and I saw this guy with headphones, and he had the same the smile that Pauly had. And I was like, dang, like music's a universal language, you know. Like something just stopped me in my tracks. So I was like, all right, God. So I went home that night. I was like tossing and turning. I'm like, all right, God, you planted something in my heart. How do I connect Pauly and helping the homeless and music? I'm going to start something called Pauly's Project. And we're going to share the gift of music by donating free radios. So that was 12 years ago. And me and Pauly would hit the streets and Pauly would hand him a radio. And they didn't really know his condition. They're like, why isn't he looking at me? I'm like, oh, he's blind. Why isn't he talking? He's autistic. And Pauly would hand it to him. And they would just look at him like, wow, like who am I to complain? Yeah, I live in this tent, but I can still get up and do something with my life. Like this young man. So it was just the inspiration. I thought they'd be more excited about the radio. They were more intrigued by meeting Pauly. They were just like dumbfounded.
For sure, dude.
Right.
That must have been an eye opener for them and for you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So when did you start taking Pauly there? What year?
So that was about like 12 years ago. What year is it now? So can't do the math, but whatever year that was. So yeah. So yeah, 2011, 2012, I think. And I could tell he did it the first 2 years. We'd be in the hardest Skid Row. I think I didn't have fear, again, from going down there when I was little all the time. So it wasn't like new territory. I was like, I kind of felt at home. But then I'm like, I'm with Pauly, though. It is a little risky. So as he got like a couple years into it, I could tell he was getting bothered. He was getting irritated by it's overwhelming. The other senses, the smells, people are fighting, the yelling. And I'm like, this isn't cool, you know. So I told his mom, you know, just keep him at home and I'm still going to go out there. So the next 2-3 years, I would go by myself and I was in the thick of it. Like I would go at night and it was something I really wanted to dive into, you know. And I said, I think I came from that brokenness and I wanted to help people. I was just so filled with like, what can I do to help people? So I would go out there and I would go sometimes at midnight at night, you know, like Skid Row don't sleep. It's like Vegas. You know?
That's when it's cracking.
Yeah. So my family's like, Paul, why are you going down there again at night? Like you're going to put yourself in jeopardy. You're going to get hurt. You're by yourself. This is all bad. This is just stupid. And I said, you know what? If I want to dive into homelessness, like I want to connect with them. And I want to build that trust. So if I go down scared, it's like a dog, you're going to get bit. Yeah. So when I go down there, the first, like, I think 6 months, they didn't trust me. They thought I was like an undercover cop because it was predominantly, and I would go on these back streets, and it's all, it's I look back at it now like, well, it's kind of risky. But
that's hood over there.
Yeah. Oh, it's pit bull, big old dudes, and they're, hey, what's up? And they're, you know, why are you down here by yourself?
Hood over there.
And, it, you know, again, predominantly Mexican. Sometimes the blacks and Mexicans will go at it. So they're like, Mexican dude down here by yourself, what's a catch? You know, what's up? And I'm like, no, bro, like, how can I help you guys? Or what do you need? Whatever. So, you know, I bring blankets. And so it took a little while. And then after a good couple months, you know, there's always a main dude on the block. They would come up to me and like, hey, I want to talk to you. I'm like, oh, God. And they would just put out their hands, say, hey, thank you for taking care of our people. Like, we could tell you're legit. You're the real deal. Yeah. Not out here for the photo op. Like, you genuinely care and you want to help us. So I told them the story about Pauly, and they're like, oh, okay, this makes sense, you know.
So when did Pauly's project actually come about, and where did the idea come from?
Yeah, so that was, I'd say like more in 2014, I made it like a little more official. But yeah, it was just, you know, sharing the gift. It was, I never thought it was going to get big. It was all about sharing a AM, FM, old school battery operated radio in honor of Pauly, and we're just going to hand them out. And a lot of the homeless people are like, man, I was thinking more of a music standpoint, but they're like, we're so disconnected from society. We live in this little tent, and like, now we can hear the news. We can hear, you know, the Laker game, the Dodger game, and we could connect with what's going on in the world. And then when you hear that old song that puts you in good spirits, you know, I'm like, that's what it did for me. Like, I would listen to oldies, that would calm me down, you know, but yeah, so this little radio is powerful. I think they said, yeah, you guys are spoiled. You go home, you have a remote control access to the world. When you're out here in the streets, you're so disconnected. So this little radio is going to help us a lot. So I was like, okay.
Tell them we ain't spoiled before we work, homie.
Yeah, exactly.
I just had to get that in there.
I know he's waiting.
Yeah.
We're going to agree to disagree.
All day long.
Right? I'm trying to lighten it up a little bit first.
Yeah, fool. We ain't spoiled. Fool. I worked today. I went to the gym. I went to the market. And I'm over here. We're getting it in.
Exactly.
But no, but that's why I said, even from the beginning of the monologue, I said, you know what? You're the half of me that we're different that way. But that's the beautiful balance at the same time. But at the same, when did the name come out? Pauly's Project.
That was like that one night I was tossing and turning. It was quick. I'm like, I'm gonna call Pauly's Project. It wasn't like, let me sit back and think about it. Like, it just came to me off the head, and I said, I'm gonna collect donations from family and friends, and we're gonna get these little $5 old school battery operated radio. So in my head, it was the number 50. Again, I thought this was gonna last for a month and fizzle out. I said, I'm gonna get 50 radios, get them from donations from family and friends. I call Pauly's Project. Me and Pauly are gonna hand them out, and then once we're done with the 50, we're done. Call it a day. But then that 50 turned into 100, and then turned into 500, and then 5,000. I lost track. We don't really focus on radios anymore, but last count, it was like 12,000.
So what do you guys focus on more now?
So now, so after Pauly wouldn't go out anymore, I did it for a couple years, and then I would start posting, like, my nephew's like, do a little Instagram. So people would see me going out to the streets and giving stuff, and they're like, man, that's cool, but how do we become a part of this positive movement? Like, we want to help. So I said, you know what? We're going to meet at Farmer Boys on this day, this time. And then I had like 3 volunteers. I was like, cool, I don't have to do this by myself anymore. And then that 3 turned into, 6 and 10 and 20. And,
cool.
I don't know how many thousands we've had over a 12-year span. But yeah, no, we give people, the basic necessities to live another day. Now, the grimy alleyways that I go through, people are like, I always hear, we'll go back and forth with you're enabling them and all that. It's like, dude.
That's me.
Yeah. But some of the places I go, no, I get it. I watch your show. No, don't get mad over here. You two together. Oh, yeah. We're throwing blows. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, there's literally like rats crawling on this old lady. She's laying in feces. So if I have to cover her with a blanket and give her socks and a hygiene kit, it might be gone next week. I don't know. But again, when you do this for 12 years, every weekend, I could be the first one to say, you know what? F these losers. Let them die. I don't care. That's not in me, because I think of Pauly. I could have sent him to a home and said, F you, Pauly. You figure it out. That's just not how I'm built, So especially from my uncle. And so there's a lot of history and a lot of layers to why I'm doing it. It's not like I just said one day, I want to help people. Like, it's deep. It's my passion.
I see a lot of children on your Instagram too, on the, the homeless. I think a lot of people don't see that. There's a lot of kids out there on Skid Row, right?
Yes and no. So going back, so I did Skid Row like the first 4 years, and we know that's the hub. Yes. It's the good, bad, and the ugly. You see everything. But one day I got lost, and I went down these back streets, and I was like, man, these are like mini Skid Rows, all the little back streets, what I call like the outskirts of downtown. So I'd get out there. I was like, hey, anybody come and help you guys out here? They're like, absolutely nobody. We're like the orphans of Skid Row. Like, we stay away because it's scary, So it's like these little hidden little pockets. And I was like, maybe this is my niche back here, because you guys are getting no love. This is bad out here. And, everybody, at the end of the day, organizations go on the weekends to Skid Row and give, and we know that. Whatever. So, so I would do that. And shoot, where were we going with this question? I forgot.
Now that you stop with the question, I want to go back to when I heard you saying about, people think they're losers, people think that. I myself am not so much of a homeless advocate, not even close to you. I'm not at all. I'm the guy that people think I'm against it. But let me ask you this, Paul. How can we actually help them? To me, it's I do want to help people on Skid Row. I do want to help homeless people. But do you not see a lot of like enabling in the city where they're giving you free housing, free this, without any accountability is the word I'm saying?
Yeah, no, you're going to see everything across the board, because my brother has a business, and I wouldn't want an encampment set up in front of his place, so I get that too. I'm not like totally pro advocate homeless. Like, I don't agree with a lot of it. There's a lot of it that just, God, it makes no sense. But I think you need groups like Pauly's Project on the front lines to build relationships with these people to get them off the streets. For instance, there was a guy at the city last week, and he came with a yellow vest and clipboard. Hey, what's your information? And I'm on a whole block of these homeless people. And I think chronically homeless people are when it's like 5 years and up. Like, this dude's been out here 10 years. He's not going to listen to the guy in the yellow vest with the city of LA with the clipboard. but give me your information. Well, they have trust issues. Like, why am I going to give you my social? I don't know who you are. So I told the dude, I'm like, bro, let me try, so he left. And it was one of my buddies, Felix. I'm like, Felix, come on, dude, enough's enough, bro. Like, you don't want to live like this anymore. Like, so anyways, I've gotten 6 people off the streets as of recently. And these are long-term people that have been homeless. So again, I could take the approach from the sidelines, like, hey, this is stupid losers, crackheads, blah, blah, blah. But somebody's got to be out there helping these guys.
I never called them losers.
Oh, I wasn't going to quote Gil, but I was like, trying to
quote me all day long. To me, this is what it is, homie. To me, the majority of people that are homeless are addicts, whether it's alcohol, whether it's fentanyl, whether it's heroin, whether it's crack, whatever it is. And I think the disservice by a lot of homeless advocates is they won't admit that. Will you admit that?
No, there's a lot of them that are drug addicts and alcoholics.
Would you say the majority are?
I'd probably say the majority. Yeah, I'm not afraid to talk. Like
you were for saying it.
No, I mean I'm the real deal. Like, dude, I'm not sugarcoating stuff.
We've actually spoken about this before, like off air when we were talking about it. And you tell, but that's the beauty part that we can actually talk about. But I really think, Paul, that we're all trying to get to that same place. Except you have a much bigger heart than
I think it's hard to like stereotype when there's like, it's almost like if you work with, say you're working in juvenile hall and you're trying to get these guys help and don't go that route, and then you hear some guy, he's freaking loser gangbangers, them, all their killers and blah. It's like, dude, I'm trying to break that stigma of like, quit calling them all freaking crackheads, this and that, baseheads, because homelessness is so wide. So when people say we're about our people, our raza, well, guess what? There's a lot of our raza out there too. Yeah, there's crackheads, but there's all over the board. I think the old days is like an old man pushing a shopping cart. Now homelessness is everywhere. It's people that lost their job. There's families living in their cars. There's, so
how do you get them back on track? Because once you're homeless, you're straight out homeless. You hit rock bottom. First of all, you ain't got a shower, so you can't shower to go look for a job. You don't got an address. You probably don't have a phone. So how do you equip these people to actually go out and get a job? Because I'm sure all of them don't want to be there.
Yeah, no, it's hard. I mean, a lot,
like compare how many there is now. Like you got one extreme, which is Gil. You got the other extreme, which is you, and then you got my extreme, which is kind of in the middle. Like you got to kind of help them.
Mine's the truth, Holmes.
No, but you still got to kind of help them get out of homelessness.
They want to get high.
Yeah, because they probably hit rock bottom and they're like, screw it.
Yeah.
Let me just do this. To get their mind out of the problem they're in.
Oh, absolutely.
But
if
still,
I lived out there, I'd probably be drinking and doing something too. Like you need something to know.
When you talk to them, do you see that they actually, some of them do want to get out of this?
Of course, yeah. It's a smaller percentage.
So now that comes, how does the city help them? Because the city's just trying to like they're throwing money at it, but it's not working.
They're getting crack pipes.
Exactly.
No, that's
but
crazy.
like
I went to those marches years ago. Prop H, Measure H, 300 million. I'm like, yes, because I believed in
yes,
those people.
Of course.
And then you see, I'm out there 5 years later, and people are like,
changed.
oh, have you seen? How's this helped? I'm like, it's done absolutely nothing. It's worse out here.
Hey, so are you? Let me ask you this, Paul. Are you pro crack pipe to give away?
I know that's always a touchy subject.
It's not really that touchy.
Yeah.
To me, it's like I am not pro crack pipe.
But then
pipe,
again,
no.
or pro needles, because they give them needles too. But then again, that's like giving kids in high school condoms.
I just have like Narcan on me. I don't get
Narcan, yes.
Yeah, I'm not into the pipes and crack pipes. That's not my thing. I know there's groups that do it, but I focus on other stuff.
What do you think about that?
But I think.
Do you think it helps or hinders?
I mean, all day long, I see people shooting up with dirty needles. So I see the guys come and they're giving them clean needles. And I'm like, dude, that's not my thing. Because, you don't want to, enable the situation. But then you get, they're going to do it anyways. And it's like, dude, that's
like giving a gang member a bulletproof vest or a gun.
Well, no, I'm gonna confess to something right now.
Oh shit, he's crack.
No. So I used to work at a hospital. I was a janitor. More than probably like a quarter of my homeboys were doing smack. So they all, and I used to watch them and they were all using the same needle.
Oh,
right. So what I would do, since I worked at a hospital, I would go into like the ER or the ICU, and back then they weren't locked up. So I would just grab a handful and then I would go pass them out to the homeboys because I was like, dude, you guys gotta stop using the same needles. Me working in a hospital, I knew about being sterile. And a lot of these guys ended up getting hepatitis C. But and it was why did I do it? Because I was like kind of like looking out for them out of my heart. And I was like, dude, you guys are sharing shit.
But when it comes to being at the Cato, fool, it's like,
well, yeah, you didn't care, but I did. No, they didn't, but I did.
No, this is what I see. I see when they do those programs. If you look behind it, it is because they care. They care. They want to help. They want to reduce the sickness. They want to. But when it comes down to it, if you are to a point where you're getting a needle and dropping that shit in your neck and shooting that shit, you don't give a fuck.
Well, because you're at that point in your life.
If
you hit rock bottom.
If you're living to 10 years, you don't give a fuck. Yeah, so what they're doing is they're enabling the people to get more shit. This is I think this is the problem with America. This is the danger that we're living in. But it's like, no, but we'll give them this. Like, it makes you feel good, but at the end, it doesn't help. Like what Pauly's project does. Yes, they're out there, feeding, clothing, like keeping people alive. Straight up. When it comes to it, those guys, I think, are keeping people high, dude. Keeping people high. You gotta hit rock bottom. In order to be like, I'm done. Your rock bottom was
doing a high-speed chase and flipping over
6 times. Yeah. My rock bottom was like in 97, and I'm get busted again. I'm like, I'm back busted for the hood again. Your rock bottom. You're in the county jail. Look at 20. We all gotta hit that rock bottom
to change.
And the difference was when you and I were young, and you and I, when you see homies in the hood living in the street, that's embarrassing.
No, it is. It is.
It's not embarrassing anymore. That's the norm. And I think that's what needs to change as far as the system goes. It's not that we're bashing. It's like we're actually being the parent in the room and saying, nah, dude, this is wrong, brother. You should not be living in a tent. You should not be getting high. It's all right to get, here and there. But
how does that person...
Because I see like every extreme, where it's like, we can go back and forth all day, but there's 75,000 homeless, they say, and who knows on paper, official numbers.
They're mostly in California.
Oh, yeah. No, that's LA County. No.
They're all in North Hollywood.
In LA County, there's 75,000 homeless, so everybody's saying is, get them in shelters, get them off the streets. These losers want to be there.
They're not losers. Don't stop saying that.
But okay,
that's
so
the typical person says.
So you go to Skid Row, right? And yes, they do have shelters. But man, for these guys to get into these shelters, there's a 45-minute line wait, and then they don't get the same bed. Why don't they ever give them just the same bed?
Wait a minute,
but they kick everybody out at 7 in the morning.
I'm at 45 minutes on the 405. I'm waiting for 45 minutes to get a bed. That's easy money.
Exactly.
Yeah. How do I argue that one?
Exactly.
No, I get it. But but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is these persons don't have a place that they can call, okay, this is my little corner, and I could build off of this little corner and hopefully get into a house and a job and a shower and all that. But they kick them out at 7 a.m. and then they let them back in at 7 a.m. So if you want a good bed, you better be in line by 4 p.m. And that kind of sucks.
Yeah, no,
Like, I mean, I know Gil don't see it. Gil's like, hey man, I'm going all the way to fucking 50 miles to drive to work. Yeah, I do the same thing, but we're not in those shoes.
What you got, Paul? What you got?
No, I was just saying, like, because I always hear that people have them go to shelters. Well, reality is, if there's 75,000 homeless in LA County, we know it's probably more.
Yeah.
If every shelter bed opened up, I think they said there's like 16,000 beds. So do the math. 75,000 homeless,
a lot of
16,000 beds. Where do you want these people to go? Again, we don't want them, everywhere. But like, I went with my local city. I'm not gonna say where I live again, but the city police, and it was like the homeless task force. And I was like, bro, where do you, in our city, there's not that much, but we drove around. So I was like, what do you do? And he's like, there's nowhere to put them. I can't do anything. My hands are tied. I just say, don't be a nuisance and don't be an eyesore. Go behind Walmart and set up shop, But he's like, I can't even, there's nowhere out here in the SGV. There's only one in Pomona and a couple in El Monte, but he's like, this wasn't set up for this.
We're making one, Paul. Rehab camp. If you guys want to invest to rehab camp, American Joel is going to make it. SGV for the SFV. We make a big, huge rehab camp where we have people on meth, people on heroin, people who are getting clean, people who want jobs. And eventually, like, you phase out into certain areas. Once you've been clean for 6 months, then we get you a hotel apartment. We pay for it. And then we gradually get you back in the system. I think what they're doing is they're getting people who are not ready and they're hiding it, like saying like that. We're going to go behind Costco and do your thing.
Yeah.
That's what the mayor of LA is doing. I'm going to put them in hotels they're just not
doing the same shit. Look at the one right here.
Fool. I used to be young. I used to be fucking all doped out.
Imagine with the hotel.
Imagine the tells me, I'm going to give you a hotel. It's own.
Yeah. Well, they need like those wraparound services. It's like somebody who did 30 years in the pen. You can't say, oh, go in society and figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, they need help and guidance, So every time I hear people like,
they're not losers.
No,
don't say it again.
Crackheads, whatever.
Yeah.
Again, I think of myself with the words my mom said. Blah, blah, whatever she said woke me up. So a lot of these people have nobody. We're it. So I'm.
Hey, Paul. Whatever happened to your uncle?
He died an ugly death. Yeah, he caught himself on fire and cigarette and a beer, and he was
Skid Row.
No, he moved to it was in Pasadena. It was the Salvation Army men's home or something.
Oh shit!
And he got, you weren't supposed to drink in your room, but he got drunk and fell asleep. Cigarette lit him on fire, and yeah, it was all bad.
No, it's a horrible existence, and I see it every day, bro. When you see it out here where we're at in the studio, bro, believe it or not, people think I'm very like cold to. No, it breaks my heart. Because
it doesn't.
It
doesn't. Go stop lying.
I have friends that I've known for over 30 years. I mean, living on the street, doing a thing. I see people walking by. I see, and some of them, especially when they're young, remind me of my daughter, my grandkids. Like, dude, look at these kids. I seen a girl walking by like maybe a month and a half ago. She couldn't be more than 17, 16 years old with no shoes on, still kind of pretty, but you could tell all dirty and like just tweaked out, bro. Like on some major stuff. And it's like, when I see that and I see the city just kind of, what the city's doing, they're just throwing money at it. They're just throwing money at it. But nobody seems to have the, I don't know if the backbone or just the management skills say, hey, we're doing it all wrong.
Maybe it's just too much red tape, because you got Sears Tower right here in Boyle Heights that the owner wanted to do something like that, but everybody fought against it.
What'd you think about that one?
You know?
Paul?
Well, it kind of reminds me of, like in Venice on the boardwalk, and I get it. The business, how are we going to do business? And there's freaking tents everywhere. And I'm like, I get it. So the city said...
They don't believe it breaks my heart, but they're laughing at me on the comment section.
Yeah, because it doesn't.
Oh, wow. Bro.
We...
you're getting pulled into guilty by association.
You know who knows I have a good heart is my wife.
Yeah. She's the only one. No, I'm just kidding. I love Gil, but on this topic...
I love it.
Anyway,
right?
Yeah, so then, you get all the NIMBYs not in my backyard. So, the city said, okay, we're going to clean up the boardwalk. We got to get these people somewhere. So we're going to build a little shelter in Venice. No shelters in Venice. Blah. So they're like, well, what do you want? You don't want them here. You don't want them there. We're not going to ship them out to the desert. People may want that, but that's not reality. It's not going to happen.
American Cholo Rehab Camp.
Yeah.
Ship them out to me. American Cholo Rehab Camp. I'll give you less than what the Hilton's giving you, with therapy, with the doctors, with everything. That's what we need, brother.
But where? What city? No city's gonna want it.
It doesn't matter where they want it.
You can't put it in Beverly Hills, because that won't go for nothing. You can't put it right here. We're going to Acton, or that, what is it? The Marine camp, or that Air Force camp in Victorville.
Let's be honest. Like, you can't force people in a bus and ship them to the desert.
Why not?
What do you think?
When I get busted, they should put me on a bus.
I don't think that'll never happen.
Oh, sure you could. Okay. You enforce loitering laws. What do they do in the 90s? Well, you go to the county jail.
Yeah, if you hung out on your street corner, so they got you for loitering.
You're enforcing loitering laws. You're enforcing tickets. Hey, dude, I give you a ticket for jaywalking 4 times already. In other words, you're forcing them into the rehab camp. And this, when I say rehab, I'm being serious. You're going to rehab camp where people are going to, hey, dude, watch out, rehab camp's coming.
Yeah,
they're gonna put you in there. There ain't no drugs. There ain't no this. Maybe they'll give you something to make you lay off of it a little bit. Right?
Ease the pain.
Yeah, ease the pain. But it's like a kid where you're on the streets running. No. Come on. You're going your tía to Mexico, but instead of the Mexico, vamos to rehab camp, cabrón. No, straight up. Vamos to rehab camp. And we get these people, and seriously, meth, heroin, you break it down, and then you make it a phase where little by little, 1 month in, okay, you go to this place, you get more freedom, and then eventually you actually teach these people and get them back into society. Because what we're doing right now is we're chasing them, we're cleaning the stuff, all right, guys? We're clean. By the time we get over here to clean, they're all back over here, bro. That's all that's going. So we're spinning our wheels and nothing's getting solved. Because why? Because people don't want to realize the majority of what we got there is alcoholism, is drugs, is heroin. It's addiction. And nobody's trying to focus on that issue at all. That's what I think. So my thing is rehab camp. I'm like, in 10 years you're gonna see it. American Cholo Rehab Camp.
Yeah,
man. It's wishful thinking, but I don't think you're gonna.
No, it's a good idea.
75,000 people and say, ship
why
them
not?
out to them.
Well, send them out to the desert.
No, not 75,000. The people who are screwing up.
Yeah.
You're screwing. Listen,
but
nobody.
But they're the ones that don't care. You got to get the people that do care.
Oh no, there's a part of
out of 75. There's probably 20,000 that do want to get out of there.
There's a part of rehab camp where if you want to do that, here you go.
Yeah,
you go to that part. You want to get high. The dope deal is going to give you whatever you want. Here you go. We'll put the bathrooms here. We'll put offices, because that's pretty much what Skid Row is. That's not even, that is what Skid Row is. Skid Row is this, but you got business owners, you got people, what's going on in especially California? The quality of life for regular citizens is going down to make up for people's feelings who are high, homie, or getting drunk. You want to get fucked up? Well, get your money, but don't do it in front of my house. Is that wrong, Paul?
I mean, like I said, I see so many different circumstances. So My thing, when I first got involved in this 12 years ago, I was going to LA City Council meetings, doing the political stuff, and then I saw it was all hypocritical, and I said, you know what, and I went to the streets. I'm like, I'm just going to do my thing and try to get people off the streets. But yeah,
and you've been successful at that.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. But yeah,
No,
I mean,
but
maybe there's
even
10 in
one
front of
makes
me,
a difference.
And I work with one, and
Yeah.
we get them off the street. But I see,
But that's where you
know,
start.
like, say
Yeah.
there's a new girl, and I could be like, oh my god, she's a rookie. I mean, you could say we call it
Yeah.
fresh meat. Like, dude,
Yeah, you
she
can
doesn't
tell.
belong. And then you see her 2 weeks, and she's drunk and she's high, and it's like, I get it because
Yeah, she
she's
has nothing
probably
to
getting
lose for.
raped, and you know, like you need something to numb the pain, and it's a horrible situation. But now I'm starting to see it's not just like the regular home. I just see such a variety. I see people, fathers out there, you know, and some families, or a lady who lost her job. Like it's so it's
Random.
not just the typical person that you think and you stereotype anymore. It's such a, you know, and the cost of living in LA. I mean, we can get into all sorts of stuff, but
we can do it.
I mean, yeah, no, I like I said, I see the average person thing. It's an eyesore, but everybody's barking about it. Nobody's doing anything about it. So it's hard for me when I'm out there in the trenches getting people help. Oh, what do you think, Paul? Dude, get your ass
Get
out,
your
on
ass
a
out here,
Sunday.
too.
Let's see,
Hey,
you know?
Paul, do you think I'm barking about it? Let me know right now.
You're not barking, you're biting.
You're like a little pet bull.
Exactly.
The Chihuahua phase is over.
Yeah, exactly.
Am I one of the guys that barks about it, Paul?
Exactly.
Come on, keep it real, bro. We're here.
1,000%. Yeah.
No, but I don't bark about it. I care, brother. I care.
Yeah, come on.
I care, brother. How you gonna tell me I'm still here? If I didn't care, I would have moved out of North Hollywood years ago, bro. Years ago, I would have never bought a home here. I would have been gone. To me, I care because I'm like, dude, this is my neighborhood, homie. I don't.
Yeah.
I want kids to go to school without seeing the neighborhood wino over there all
Yeah.
drunk and taking a piss, bringing on his wanger, because that's what they
Yeah.
do.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what they
I mean,
do.
I think everybody in general, you could talk about your
Takes out their
gang
wanger?
members. Well, no, not that part. I mean, I did that too.
I'm just making
I
sure.
did that before I walked in here right now. I'm just kidding. But no, everybody deserves a better quality of life. I think nobody's gonna like change my direction of what I do because of my
Yeah.
son. Like I'm so passionate and I just help people. That's what I do. So if you're helping a gangbanger, you're helping a homeless person, whatever, everybody deserves a second chance at life. And it's too easy to stereotype and negative and you know this and that. So
And that's why I love Paul, bro. That's why I love
I have
Paul.
a heart of gold. I'm the modern Mother
I-
Teresa.
I-
You ain't gonna
I told you, he's
change
the-
my direction.
He's the opposite of me. I'm a dirtbag, and he's a great guy.
No, believe me, I every Sunday I come across 150 people. There's a lot of mentally ill. My head's
Of
I'm a
course.
target because when they come up to us, hey Paul, and they all know me, you know, and that's years of respect in the streets. And they come up to me, Paul, I need 2 blankets, bro. I can only give you 1 because if I give you 2, then I gotta fight everybody else. So, well, F you, Paul, meet me in the house. You know, I
Oh,
deal with
it's
a
like
lot.
that, huh?
Oh, dude, I have a target over me. And there's a couple individuals I have to look out for. But it doesn't, like,
They're just tripping mentally, or what?
yeah, they're having a bad day. They're probably on something. And the next week they might hug me. But the next day they want to, fight me. So
You're like, fuck you.
What do you
no,
tell
I'm
them?
just like, bro, you're having a bad day. Just I'll talk to you next time or whatever. I know how to diffuse. You're not gonna.
You kind of know who they are.
Oh
already.
yeah, you're not gonna go screaming match for screaming match. I could tell they're off, and I see their eyes bugged out. I'm like, all right, this ain't the day to play with this dude, But the next week they might hug me, and I've had one that now he changed his ways. He's not on drugs, and we finally got him in housing. So
That's dope.
again, it just there's a lot of success stories that go unheard. If you go on our Pauly's project page today, I did a video. I said people need to see more of this, not the negative, because you see all the Skid Row stories. I hate those YouTubers that go for shock value. They're driving by and
Yes.
there's a big old fight and it gets all these views, and people are like, dude, the 12 years we don't see your all craziness. I'm like, dude, homelessness has enough negative stigma. I want to put something positive. We're helping this person. We have a plan. We're doing something. Like, go on other pages.
You
if
killed
you
my
wanna see
content,
it.
fool. I was gonna do that this weekend.
Exactly. he was licking his chops.
Yeah, you killed my
He's waiting,
content. I was gonna-
It's like, damn it, this is going too
Yeah.
positive.
I was gonna say, look, Pauly, look
Yeah,
at
what you're doing.
Exactly.
Hey, throughout your journey of helping people, you have been blessed to meet many, many celebrities, bro. Like Fluffy. You met what's his name, Machete. You met Be Real. You met a whole lot of people. How does that feel? Like after all these years, like, damn, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, no, it feels good. I mean, at the end of the day, I just want them to get on board and help, I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, we could take the photo op, but that ends at one day, so, but they always get me and they're like, dude, you have enough going on with your son being a single father of a blind and autistic son, but well, you've taken it to another level of helping people. Like that's admirable. And we
Yes.
want to support this and help this with so
Yes.
much negativity going on in the world. Like people go to your page for some positiveness, and you're not sitting back crying about your situation with your son. you're taking it up another notch. So
Hey, and now you met American Cholo, bro.
I just dropped a notch.
He said
he went up a notch.
Hell no.
I'll fix it in editing. I'll fix it in editing.
So one of these days, I'm gonna get that crackhead out of his vocabulary, and I'll feel better.
Yeah.
Because when I see him and Matt team up, I'm just I'm going to the next
Juan
one.
Gonzalez, $20 super chat. The first donation for American Cholo's Rehab Center. Juan,
There you go, Juan.
You just bought yourself a percentage of our company, brother.
Well,
There you go.
Come on.
AC
dude.
said
Hell
whatever
yeah.
he gets in donations, he's kicking it back to Pauly's project.
There you go.
No,
Exactly.
Actually, no. We're going to be asking for some type of donations on our thing, on our end. We're going to be doing, before I forget, West Coast Graffiti, $10 super chat. Saludos, Pauly's project. Where's the best tacos and or burritos? And do you like red or green salsa?
Damn.
Yeah, that's a double part question right there.
I'm a carnitas man, red salsa. So many East Slow spots I know. Where was I today? I was at Liliana's Tamales.
Ooh,
Cesar
Oh,
Chavez.
right there. Cesar Chavez,
Yeah,
right there.
that was
Yes.
some heat over there.
Damn.
there you go. What's I going to say? What's threw me off with this fucking tamale question?
All right.
Hey,
Don't bring up food. I'm already hungry.
Hey, but wait a minute. You brought up Matt. Matt is a crackhead, meth head, dope fiend in recovery. I must add.
Yeah. No, Matt's cool. I love
Yeah,
Matt.
no,
That's
but
all love.
but he's saying the truth.
Yeah.
And some people get offended by it. Not that you really got offended by
Yeah.
it, but it's like this is a guy who.
Well, the hard part where I have, when I see you guys talk, it's like, and Matt's been through hell and back. Dude, his story is incredible. But it's always,
Yeah, my mama,
guy's ready.
my mama always told me, don't listen to anything until he's hit the butt.
yeah. No. Are you kidding me? Like, dude, his
But?
I always hear his
Say
stories.
it.
No, but this guy. killing
Now
me.
you got to say it.
Trying to make
Yeah.
He wants it. It's not a negative. I just, when I hear his story, I think about
starting
when
to
he's
feel
up in
better
his
right now.
room and he's, punching the walls and breaking glass, whatever, shooting up dope. And I always, when I hear he got out of it, I feel like his mom was such a big key to that, like a big part of it. Again, he had to do this on his own. Like nobody can, he made the change. And someday in his head, he said, enough's enough. But I always feel like there's one person like me. I think of my mom. I think you probably had your wife or a friend or somebody. And most people don't do it completely alone. So when I'm out there and I'm helping people, I'm that person. So when you hear, let people at the rock bottom, if they die, whatever, let them figure it out. It's like, dude, you have to have a little compassion. Like,
I got compassion, Paul.
No, you
I
don't.
got.
No, he doesn't.
right? See, it started off good. Now I'm getting more angry at you guys. Can we put up a wall?
I love it.
Right.
Start beef with Matt, Mohawk Matt.
When you get Paul for Pauly's Project mad.
Yeah, it's over.
Exactly.
It's
I'm one
over.
of those
Wait
patient
till you
guys that
get there. I'm gonna walk right by you, Gil.
All right,
Right.
come on.
Exactly.
Give me a hit. No, but
I gotta call Skid Row. I got some
Yeah, get some back on
no,
it.
I can't
I
go
got
to Skid
AC.
Row.
Yeah,
they're gonna kill you right
I
there.
got the green light over here by the homeless, dude, in North
Jeez.
Hollywood, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta walk with caution over here.
Yeah.
You gotta walk around strapped over here, fool.
Exactly.
Is that American Cholo? Like,
Exactly.
but you know what? The beautiful part is, at the end of the day, Paul, that we could sit here and have this conversation.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Hey, talk to me.
I wanted to.
Talk to me about you. Was that the first autism awareness event you threw this year or second?
That was the second one, and then we're gonna have another one this year. But yeah, I'm always doing stuff to bring awareness for Pauly.
That was dope.
autism,
That was very
blindness,
cool.
all
Thank you
sorts-
for that.
Yeah. No, that was great. I mean, I go to a lot of community events. I mean, a lot of people support Pauly's project. They look at what we do,
For
and,
sure.
They say, "Hey, it's not for me. It's not for everybody." And I'm like, I know this is my path, and I'm good with it. But yeah, no, you see me, I'm out there grinding. I'm trying to
Yes,
network.
for
I know a lot
sure,
of people.
brother. For
We have a
sure.
good name. I know a lot of nonprofits that go down the tubes and it's drama and about money and fighting. And like, dude, I just stay in my lane and I do me. And I just want to help people. and
Non-profit beef,
yeah.
huh? Is there
There is.
non-profit beef?
and everything
We
is
haven't
beef.
got through this beat. There it is. OG Steve, thank you for that $21 super chat. Ellerton in the casa. Salute Gil, Boo Boo, Pauly. Respect from the Bronx.
Oh, nice. I like that.
So the I don't know if you're busy that day, but on the 18th, guys, we're gonna be doing a turkey giveaway. We're gonna do turkey. We're gonna collab with the Victory Outreach, STP. I think it's Angels. Man, I'm sorry. We got a guy also doing what's it? Petting zoo. Jumper, food for everybody over there. We'll do it on the 18th. It's gonna be mostly Tierra Street Park. We're still trying to get the permit, but we'll pull it. So it'll be at Tierra Street Park, November 18th. turkey giveaway, and to me, that's what it's about, dude. If you want, now it's this to me. When I love this time of year because it's our time to shine, brother. You do that all year long. To us, it's barely our thing. Paul, you do that all the time.
I tell people, they're like, "Let me go out for the photo op for your Skid Row Christmas thing." I'm all, dude, we still have 364 other days you gotta be out here. But I'm a little extreme, but we all gotta do our part.
Yeah. So this is
coming together.
This is our part, brother. I don't know if you got anything going on. If not, we'd love to have you.
Is that a Saturday or Sunday?
It's a Saturday.
Okay.
It's a Saturday. The November 18th. Yeah.
Okay.
What time?
It'll probably be like last time, like probably like around between like 2 and 5 or something.
Okay.
Car show, the whole. It was cool, man. It was very cool. This will be our 3rd annual doing it. So hopefully you come on, and I just want to thank you, bro, for really without it. Thank you for what you do, man. Thank you for the man that you are. You're an inspiration to a lot of people, even to myself, believe it or not, brother. And I hope that you continue with the success and keep giving the word out there, man. Thank you for coming on our platform.
That's right.
Appreciate it.
That's
Thank you
man.
guys.
And
awesome.
We do appreciate you being out there.
Yeah.
I mean, you're touching one person at a time, and that's all you could do. And you get more. But thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Your work is noticed.
Boo Boo, give me $25. We'll put him in the back room.
Wow.
I want the green room. I want the green room.
You're like, thank you for touching all the people. I know.
Look over there. Probably tell them where they can find you, where they could donate if they want to be part of your nonprofit. Right there, boss.
Yes. So you can go to Pauly's Project. It's PAULYS Project. That's pretty much on Instagram, Facebook, or we have our website, paulysproject.org. We always need people to donate, to volunteer, or just get involved somehow. And we always say we're changing the streets one heartbeat at a time. Beat is in music with Pauly. So yeah, get on board, man.
All right, with that being said, we appreciate you guys coming over here, inviting us into your home, into your ranfla, into your cell, wherever you're at.
Wherever you at, because we do get the set.
All right, peace.
Peace out.
What do you think?